I'm definitely not an English teacher.
All right. Ratios.
Ratio, that sounds weird.
All right. So if I have 4 quarts to 1 gallon, if I hear that, I hear 4 to 1. 4 to 1 can be written like this. It can also be written like 4 to 1. So you have 4 to 1 or 4 over 1 or 4 to 1. And you can also have 1 to 4, 1 over 4, or 1 to 4. Okay? So ratios are also needed when we're working on this, because if we talk about quarts to gallons, and I want to go from, which one do you want to do, quarts or gallons? I have, and this is, I'm just going to put out a name. We got 28. 28's in my head. 28 what? 28 quarts or 28 gallons?
28 quarts.
Okay, I got 28 quarts. How many gallons is that? So here's the ticket.
7.
Or as the English say, here's the rub. Okay? I'm going to take the quarts and I'm going to multiply it by my ratio. Right here I'm saying I have 28Q, right? Times whatever ratio that's going to get rid of my Q, but give me gallons. So I need something that has the gallons on top no. Why did I do that? There's 1 gallon to 4 quarts. I just put another 4 here. To 4 quarts. So I want a ratio that's going to give me 4 quarts to a gallon, or 1 gallon to a quart. So which ratio am I going to grab in order to get rid of this quart? And that means I have to have quarts on the bottom, right? So I grab the ratio that has quarts on the bottom. So now I've got 1 gallon per 4 quarts. Does that make sense? And then I can do, 4 goes into 28 how many times? 7? And then 4 goes into 4 once. So 1 times 1 is 1. And a quart goes into the quart, so it cancels the quarts out. And all I'm left with is 1 gallon times 7. So 1 gallon times 7 leaves me 7 gallons over 1. So in other words, I have 7 gallons. And that's using the ratios to do conversions. Okay? Using your ratios to do conversions. And once you're able to use these, then it becomes relatively simple. I can spit anything out. I can spit any number I want out. Watch. 33. That's a tough number. Okay? Because I know 4 doesn't go into that. So
Is that
33.
quarts or gallons?
And that's what I want to know. I want you to throw it at me. What do we got? Quarts or gallons? Since we already did quarts, why don't we go gallons, right? So we got 33 gallons, and I want to go to quarts. So which ratio do I need? I need something to multiply this with that has gallons on the bottom and quarts on top. So which ratio has gallons on the bottom and quarts on top?
The 4/1.
The 4 over 1. 4 quarts to 1 gallon. Right? There's 4 quarts in a gallon, or 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So what's my ratio? Well, if I divide by 4 quarts, then I got 4 quarts per 1 gallon per 4 quarts. And what I can, so that's the 1 over 4. But if I take it the other way, if I take 4 quarts equals 1 gallon, and I take it the other way and divide it by 1 gallon, then I have 4 quarts per 1 gallon, so I have 4 per 1 gallon. And now the gallons cancel. I'm left with the quarts, which is what I want, right? And then I have 4 times 33, which is, well, 4 times 30 is 12 and a 0, right? 12 times 3 is 4 times 3 is 12, and 30 can give me another 0. And then 4 times 3 is 12, so I got 120 plus 12, so I got 132 quarts. Not bad, is it? Doesn't matter what they are as long as I know where I'm going. And we can do the same thing for ounces. How many minutes is that? 6? So I'll keep it going. I can do the same thing for ounces and pounds, right? How many ounces are in a pound? That's our base. You always have to know your base. You have to know how many is in one and how many is in the other. So when you're doing ounces
Is there 12?
to pounds, I have to know that there is 16 ounces
Oh,
equals 1 lbs. And I also have to know what? Well, nothing. That's all I have to know. That's my base. And here's the thing. I'll write it again here. 16 ounces is equal to 1 lbs. So now all I got to do is 2 things. 1, divide this side by 16 ounces. And divide this side by 16 ounces. And now I got my ratio of pounds to ounces. Because this cancels out. And then what I do is I divide this by 1 pound. And I divide this by 1 pound. And this cancels out. Right? Or actually, they become 1. They become 1. So that's your 1 ratio. Your ratio of 1. And so now you got 16 over 1. But more likely, you have ounces over pounds. So we're going to do 2